Also, there is need to strengthen public participation in the budget implementation and evaluation, so that we can progressively get feedback from surface users. We can progressively get feedback from the public on where we need to improve as a county government. Also, and this one may highlight red kabisa, we have a poor budget formulation as a county government. And why am I saying so? Most of the time we spread our resources too thin. That each and every village we need to have a bowl, each and every village we need to have a dispensary. And this makes it a bit difficult for procurement guys to push for IFMIs and all other issues. Because you can imagine maybe one department struggling with, they want to do procurement of over 400 projects or 300 projects. Then it means as a county government, we need to come in and as technical officers and try to guide the process. Let's not leave the process to members of the public and come up with very smart approaches for budget formulation. Also, we've got low levels of adherence to access to information. And over time, as members of Baringo CSOs, actually at times we do sensitization, we do community engagement. At times it becomes very difficult for us to do community engagement without adequate information. And we are all aware that we have Access to Information Act 2016, which is very clear that any public information should be freely accessed by any member of public who wants to use it. But at times we are members of the CSOs, there are some information which are classified and there are some information which are public. So, and the law is very clear. And I must be very specific on budget document. It's good we have Wasiri Apa, that at the moment our website with regard to sharing of budget information, it's actually lagging behind. The last quarterly implementation report, which you can access in our website, is the 4th quarter implementation report. And this one, I want to assure you, we've been leaders in this particular area of sharing information. Even other counties, they've been coming to benchmark in Baringo. But of late, we've seen counties like Turkana. There's a budget transparency survey which was did recently, and we are yet to get the results. And the results for Baringo might not be that good. Also, the other thing we need to strengthen within our budget is the sharing of non-financial information. And the big question we should be asking ourselves is that, are the lives of the people of Baringo changing? The projects we are implementing, are the lives of Baringo, are the lives of people of Baringo changing? And that one we can only get from the non-financial information. Like, it should be very easy for me to understand. During the financial year 2020-2021, 30 households in a particular ward got improved access to water. That means definitely something is happening with regard to our lives. There's something we've been mentioning over time, that the capacity of our contractors, especially the guys we give tenders, they're still struggling with the financial phase and all those. So we need to, when we are bidding for our project, we need actually to source for project contractors with a big financial mass, or maybe the capacity or something like that. So what are some of our proposals? We've got some very quick proposals which we can, if we adopt, we can easily maybe fix what's happening in the planning landscape. But issues around budget implementation. We need to, each and every department, and it can be a practice that each and every quarter we need to set targets on implementation. that this particular in this particular quarter, we need to actually implement a number of projects. Also, we need to strengthen public deliberation and justification in budget making process. Also, the other thing, county government need to consider utilization of Auditor General report to improve budget making process. Also, we need to develop a civic education and public participation framework to strengthen formal public participation spaces in our planning environment. Also, we need to take it as a practice as a county government to start ensuring that we share information, be it BQs, project files, so that we can activate citizen engagement around citizen social audits and maybe sharing of feedback. Finally, we need to ensure that we develop maybe our procurement plans very early. I know there are some challenges with regard to disbursement of, especially the equitable share to counties. But as a county, we need to plan early, come up with procurement plans early, so that once maybe money hits our accounts, we can easily spend our resources. Thank you very much, Evans.
Thank you so much. I think a better clap for Kipsoi. Technology did not favor him, but finally he managed. I think he was well conversant with the issues. So what is coming out strongly? Budget implementation. Budget implementation, budget implementation, budget implementation across sectors. And the trend we're observing is worrying us as BACSOF is that the sectors that matter in terms of service delivery are the sectors that are lagging behind. The sectors that are represented here today. So I think we need to really pull up our socks on that, set up sustainable mechanisms of, it's important that anytime we watch news and we see the control of budget share is reports, sometimes it's saddening because you have mobilized people to go and attend public participation to prioritize projects. Then you realize at the end of the quarter, no budget has been utilized, or at the end of even half of the year. So I think this is an area that we need to really deliberate on and find sustainable solution to it. The question of revenue. Kipsoi has talked about our targets. Our revenue has been growing, but is the estimation accurate? I think that's a question we really need to reflect again. What is the revenue potential of Baringo? Is it at 300 billion really? 300 million? I feel like we can do more. Yeah? So if we just do a stakeholder engagement and analysis and mapping, we can even reach up to even 1 billion if we want to. So I think we have been very silent on local revenue collection, and yet you realize during, with the challenges of equitable share, we have always relied on this revenue, no matter how small it is. The question of equity, I think, has come out again. The question of access to information, I think, Waziri, just to emphasize, Baringo County has been ranked in the past as #1 in terms of sharing budget information. But in the last 1 year, we have been backtracking. And what does that mean? It points to something to do with transparency, and transparency is the brother of accountability. So why are we not sharing these budget documents proactively? When we were doing public participation during the COVID-19 times, there was a public advert that disappointed most budget champions. That to go to the website for you to access, was it the budget estimates? Only for people to call back and say, we are not accessing it. Only for us to be given hard copy, and we even struggled to get these hard copies to communities. So I think that we need to go back and refresh the good practice of sharing budget information in good time. The question of decentralized units, I think, Kipsoi, you might have skipped that. Our ward administrators, and I saw the CEC for devolution and public service. Are they really doing what they should be doing? Is anyone here comfortable that he can walk into the office of the ward administrator and get information regarding development programs and service delivery in the ward and get satisfied? I think what you are thinking in your mind is also what I'm thinking. The answer is debatable, because we have seen cases where ward admins are ill-equipped such that they even rely on citizens, the budget champions, to get budget information. I think that's a very worrying state, and these are the people we rely on to strengthen devolution. And that has also been a source of conflict, because sometimes the ward admin, let me give you a case. There's a one ward administrator who found himself as not having information. Instead of admitting that I don't have information, he started accusing the budget champion for sharing inaccurate information. Yet this information is what we got from county treasury. There is no CSO in this room that develops budget documents. We don't have that capacity. We only disseminate what we are issued with. So I guess the question of strengthening decentralized units needs to be revisited, and they can help in civic education and also the issue of deliberating budgets. Finally, Kipsoi talked about the question of development. I think you talked about rollover. I think it's related to budget implementation. What is it, and I think this we can ask Waziri directly, what is it that other counties are doing that we are not doing? We have done our research and we have pointed out some factors, especially in the water sector. But generally, what is it that other counties are doing that they're able to absorb up to even 80%? Because I know of counties who are doing over 80% of their development budget, and we are struggling to reach even 50%. What is it? What can we do as a forum to help you as county treasury towards this goal? Because budgets that are not implemented means services not rendered. If we talk about water, I don't think there's any other people who need water like the people of Baringo. If we talk about health projects, we need it even more. So I think that's the bigger concern we have. Even this, when we are planning for this roundtable, we thought about that we will amplify that message of we need to fix the question of budget implementation. So that said, I think I want to hand over the program back to the county government, led by my co-moderator, Mr. Kiprop, who will guide us on how we move towards the responses. As I'll repeat again, I would rather not we become defensive, because we don't want to have a meeting that will end up in conflict as opposed to solutions to the problems we are facing. Thanks a lot. Bwana Kiprop.
Hoping that we have had a very good session and listen to what the team has taken us through as per the targeted thematic areas. We have had the analysis on health services, water, environment and natural resources, education, social protection and governance. Well, additionally, amongst us, we have our colleagues and from the other departments. They might be wondering, where do we come in? But I know they are strategically within all this. Talk of roads and infrastructure. These are the same platform who will enable the other service delivery to be administered. Do you see where roads come in? Yes, they come in to ensure that they facilitate these other sectors, and that is why they are ideally relevant to this session. Talk of livestock, agriculture and fisheries. They are the same who are supposed to provide, say like linking their programs with the social protection. They love to organize themselves to ensure that they address the affirmative provision when it comes to, say, food security. Even the trade and cooperatives, I've seen our colleagues here. Well, I'm acknowledging their presence and telling them that they are relevant to this session. So now I would wish us to respond to what Team Paskov has taken us through, having appreciated, and on behalf of my colleagues led by our senior colleagues here, I want to say that this is quite a quality work you have done. Well, I want to acknowledge again Lekdor on behalf of Team Trade and Cooperatives. I just seen my fellow directors. So I want us to respond, and we have said that this is an interactive session. So it is upon us to respond and acknowledge what you have actually told us. And of course, it will be a build up on a way forward. So I want to allow again our senior CC in charge of treasury and planning so that we follow. I don't know how you'll come in now, but it will be an overview, because at the end of the day, these are department which takes us as a lead. You know, that is where the planning department and matters money is domicile. So I want to ask Waziri to come over so that you give us an overview and an acknowledgement of what Team PASCO has taken us through, and then now we give it to health department to respond. Well, we will be helped by your technical team. Water department again will respond. You will be led by our CEC. I don't know how our CEC devolution kama bado atakuja ni sawa, but daktari, just come over and then you lead us so that ukimaliza unampatia health department wasaidiane na directors, alafu water. Social protection, nani yuko hapa? Ni kama wako, but tutasaidiana pamoja. Asante.
Okay, thank you, Wesley. Okay, I also wish to take this opportunity also to congratulate the presenters who made very insightful presentations, analyses which were quite factual, and recommendations which we found them to be well informing and actually assist us to make decisions in allocating resources in the county and also implementing the projects. Okay, so think I don't know. We will respond to issues raised as per the sectors, the thematic areas, as you had arranged, Evans and team, that we began with education, then moved to water. I'm glad to welcome my colleagues who have just joined us when they were on. I welcome Wazir Mary Panga, the CC Health. Karibu, Madam. I welcome my colleague in Treasury, John Kisang. Karibu. My colleague, Chief Officer, Roads and Public Works, Engineer Gipto. Karibu. Lokidor, where are you? Welcome, my brother. Then we have, who else has come? Daktari Jepcheng. Karibu. Ruto, yes, Kidogo. John Kidogo here, Water, Maji Bay. Karibu. Kisang, I've acknowledged Kisang. So guys, we are here to provide information. We are here for the purpose of discussions, engagements, and reactions to the feedback from the civic society, who are, in most of the time, they engage with our citizens on the ground. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think, I don't know, we don't have representation from education. And the issues which are raised, we have? Okay, fine. So, okay, just have a seat. You will come and make responses, but I wish to make give certain information which is very important for you regarding VCTs and also the ECDs. For your information, I don't know whether you are aware that ECDs as a function, early child education, was devolved, but it was not funded. So we don't receive the equitable share from national government for this function. This is a sector, or this is a department, which takes about 220 million per year in terms of salaries. But we don't receive that money from national government. It's a serious indictment on the part of transitional authority, a serious omission on the part of the transitional authority, because that function was supposed to have been costed. You are aware that many functions were even costed until the other day. They were even costing the National Assembly functions, but they were not able to cost this very, very critical and important function, the ECD. We pushed with the present administration. The last time we were in Senate, we appeared before the committee responsible, made our representations, and our representations were to be passed to the National Revenue Allocation Authority. We want to hope that future budgets shall be taken into consideration. Secondly, so for your information, we have been doing badly. I agree that we are under budget in food, we are under budget in equipment, because the bulk of the resources for that department is used to pay the salaries. So you can imagine we have around 1,700 and something teachers, and we don't even pay them what they are supposed to be paid. We pay them small amounts, but then doing a very critical function for our children. But then really you say the resources are limited. We're going forward in 2020, 2022. We have seen that the budget is going to be a little bit enhanced, and the last engagement we had with National Treasury, there was a consideration for this function. Although as we talk about the current financial year, the resources are still very limited. We commit to improve it. And in the current financial year, we are doing a little bit of infrastructure. We are doing a little bit of feeding, although in a small way. Then on VTCs, there is delays in implementation of the project for we're calling it excellence, Center of Excellence. Yes, at Baringo VTC. Yeah, I think the department will confirm that they moved until where they were getting equipment because we provided for funds, but then the resources from National Treasury delayed. It has just come last week. These are money for the past years. I know the department will implement and provide those equipment so that we can have that facility become the Center of Excellence. Stall projects, we agree. As Evans, I think you are part of the sector working groups and you sent representation, and we emphasized completion of stall projects. It is priority number 1, and you will see it in 2021-2022 budget. The CFSP is going to be there in the next 2 weeks, and you will confirm that we are addressing the issues of stall projects. So I think that's as much I can say. But then there was a proposal that we scrap the bursary for high schools and the universities. This one, my brother and sisters, is very, very political. It may not be very easy. Remember that majority of our people are poor. Yes, the information we have is that so many families are needy. They cannot even afford school fees for universities. Some cannot maintain their children in the universities. Some don't have sufficient funds in secondary, and we have those demands. I am sure if Wasiri for education could be here, could confirm the kind of requests they are getting. and the assessments they make, they actually discover that our people are actually very, very poor, and they can't manage paying the small money for secondary school. However, it is true, the recommendation is that we focus on sponsoring the VTCs. I was challenged the department the other day that we have only 1,280 something students in our VTCs, while Elgeyo Marakwet, which is a smaller county to us, has 1,700. Makueni, which is equivalent to us, also has 4,400. Nyamira has 3,900. Busia has 30 something also, doubling that, tripling Baringo. So I was asking the department, what's happening? So I think they were telling us that we are lacking instructors. They were lacking instructors, and we are prioritized. We are prioritized to provide them with resources so that they can hire more instructors. They are also saying they are lacking equipment, and we have also made it as a flagship project for us to give them so that they can acquire equipment. And then we told them also you can market. We told them market our VTCs. Actually, I think there's something like somebody suggested branding, but I remember actually telling them, you market, you make these VTCs visible so that people can know. Because our children want to run to Eldoret, want to run to RVTI, RVisit, and elsewhere. Yet we have these institutions which are capable of training them. So we ask them, we will support them with more resources so that they can market. Then consideration for bursary as well is also hoping on this financial year which is coming. So I think that is the much information I would have shared. But on the nitty-gritties, I think I'll ask my brother to come over and give finer details about what's happening in that department. Karibu.
Thank you, Waziri. I think you have captured most of the gaps in education, and I'm going to say some few. Now, first and foremost, I want to congratulate the CSOs for that good job that they have done by identifying some of the gaps in our departments. And some of the gaps that you have addressed in Department of Education, when it comes to construction of ECDs classrooms. As Waziri has mentioned that we appreciate and we agree that there are some stalled projects. So far, as the department, we have managed to construct 694 ECD classrooms. Out of that, we have managed to complete 661 and equipped 661 that are complete and equipped. We have around 33 which are incomplete, and it is in process right now. And I think and believe that by the end of this financial year, we are going to complete the 33 remaining. That is the 2014-2015 projects. So right now it is in the procurement department, and we are going to address that by the end of this financial year. Now, you mentioned something on employment of ECDs. I think Baringo County Government is one of the leading counties as far as employment of ECD teachers is concerned. In 2013, we employed over 1,800 ECD teachers. And we are happy to report that during the other financial years, we were hearing about ghost workers, those workers that are paid outside the payroll. But right now, all our ECD teachers who are being paid outside the payroll are under IBPD. So, and you know, Rome was not built once. We are growing, and we believe that one day, one time, we shall confirm these teachers to be B and B. So we are growing, and we are going there. Now, on feeding program, right now we have a policy and guideline on ECD meals and program in place. And we are working on the ECD meals and program bill and the regulation. It is almost through. We are finalizing very soon so that we can take it to the cabinet and to the assembly for approval. So, and again, already we have procured meals for our ECDs. They are there in the cereals. We are here to distribute to our ECD centers. So that is an achievement in our county. Again, that is an information that I want to give you, that we have again managed to procure textbooks for our ECD learners, and we have already distributed to them. It is going on right now in the sub-county and wards. That is all the 1,045 ECDs will get textbooks. So that is one of the achievements that we have made as the county government to make sure that our learners get foundation in our ECD centers. Now, when it comes to VDCs, we appreciate that we have some challenges. The way Waziri has put it, that is in the side of instructors, we have very few, and we are going to have more instructors as we go on, so that we shall have our VDCs, all of them, to be functional. So the way Waziri has put it, we have a great challenge in that, but it is because of what Waziri has put it, that is about transitional authority. So we are going as a department to go and sit down and then address majorly the challenges in our VCDs. And I know by the end of this financial year, most of these challenges will have been addressed. Now, about bursaries, I don't want to touch that one because Waziri has put it. I've been in the office the whole of last week. Ile mlolongo tunapata huko, uliza how far. It gives us a lot of questions. If we scrap it, what will happen? So It's much challenging. And if you go out and tell them that we are scrapping, so I think that one, I'll leave it at that. And I'll say that most of the things that you have addressed as the CSOs, we are going to address as a department. Otherwise, up to there, I'll go and share with my colleagues in the department, the CEC, the CEO, and the director. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Okay, thank you, my brother. Then we move to, unless there's a burning issue about education or an addition from one of the colleagues who has certain information which need clarification. What I will say is that public works, you are here because you assist the department to realize their projects. So when they have stalled projects, probably because you have not gone there to assess or inspect, then you have a responsibility for them to support them so that they can actualize their objectives in terms of construction and occupancy of the ECD classes. So Engineer Kipto, your colleagues in public works, I think you will pass the information that there's concern about stalled projects, and reason why they are stalled is, other than, of course, there should be technical issues as well, which you can only answer yourselves in the technical side. Then we can move to water, because Waziri is here. He will tell us what's happening about absorption. Actually, this guy is in charge of 1 billion Kenya shillings budget, so he can tell us how he will absorb it.
Thank you, Waziri. Thank you. I'll take the shortest time possible to answer a few questions. Then my colleague will come and take it up. There was an issue on inadequate staffing. This one has been addressed through the communication that we've requested through the Office of the County Secretary for replacement. So we are hoping that will be done, because it's a matter of replacement. We are not doing new employment. So that one will make a follow-up and make sure that is done very fast. There was an issue on low R&M money, that is repairs and maintenance. I agree this is true, but there's some good achievement done. In the first supplementary, there's some little money put there, having done some bit of lobbying. We have almost some few millions in that budget already. So that's good progress. However, in the second supplementary, we'll make sure that is done. And not just that, that will happen going forward. We'll ensure repairs and maintenance is done. One of the presenters mentioned that matters of management of water, water projects. You know, there's a problem in the sense that the managers or the committee are not they're not briefy to the rules that appertains to financial management. And that is why you find cases where money is collected and that money is not being used wisely. So in fact, if the people who are collecting money will use that money adequately, then matters of repair and maintenance will go low. These guys should be able to collect money and be able to use that money for maintenance and repairs in relation to that project. So capacity building, we've embraced on that. 2 weeks ago, there was some capacity building done to committee members of the Lane Water Project done by farming systems. So that one will ensure that money being collected is being used for the right purpose. There was an issue on inadequate funding of projects, in the sense that there are so many boreholes, as explained by one of the presenters. That is true. And to address that, we are seeking partners. That is why you must have seen of late, there are so many partners. Farming system, Red Cross, and so many others that are helping us to ensure that there's so many boreholes that have not been equipped are done so. There's also the initiative that we partner with the Civic Education Department to teach our people that why can't you do a project to completion as opposed to kidogo kidogo. The members of the civic society should also help us. The budget champions, let's teach our people that why can't you do a project to completion as opposed to so many of them that are not complete. There was a question on why are mega projects being done on areas that are already having water. That question is quite hard. However, the only response I can give is that I don't think whether there is such a project. What I know with the Damarabin Water Project, the so-called Chemwasco, that is Chemsusu Water and Sewerage Company, that project is serving El Rambai, that's okay. But there are low areas like Emini, Mogutio, and all that do not have water. So in a way, it will help us. Remember, Chemsusu Water Project is going to serve an additional 300 people, 300,000 people. So that will help us in a big way. There's also Rountable Water Project. That one will save over 150,000 people. So it's a way we're increasing the number. This actually targets the issue of the percentage on access to clean water. Remember, we're actually around 40. But once these two projects are completed, the Rountable project and Chemsusu, we should be able to hit something like 45%. There's the issue of water policy. That is true. To date, we don't have one. But we've been seeking partners. And there's some a partner who has indicated that he'll support us to a tune of around 6 million for us to do that project. If that is done, members, the next year's meeting will be reporting to you that we have a water policy. Maybe in a few minutes, kindly Banasio come over, add on what I've not said. Thank you, members. This is a good report. Asanteni.
But our CCs who are present with us, our chief officers, the directors, and our civil society, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. My names are Mr. John Kidogo, Chief Officer Water and Irrigation. I think our city has already explained much. And we have a plan to make sure that we reach or we come close to the national target of 62% of water coverage to our people in Baringo County. He has mentioned much about when we look at the Tiati sub-county, we really have plans to do a lot of repair work on the old boreholes, and maybe to equip the new boreholes. Let me also ask them to say that the county government has purchased a county rig and that county rig will go a long way in repairing all our boreholes in the county and maybe digging the new ones. So we had actually estimated that we will want to be doing at least 60 boreholes by here. And maybe by 2022, we will have a good number of them. Baringo South, he has mentioned about Rountable, which is really a game changer. It will supply us with that water. And he has mentioned the number of households. We are also doing some boreholes in those areas. For that Rountable, it will serve the whole of El Jamus ward, Mugutani ward, and Mochongoi ward. We also have what we call Radat Dam. I think there has been a site challenge for quite a number of years. And I hope this time the national government went there late last year, maybe to do some data collection. We hope sooner than later they will come back to the site if that site challenges are resolved. In Baringo Central, for Rountable, it was Kirandich Phase 1, which was sponsored by the Water Fund and the Baringo County government. So in Central Province, in Central, Baringo Central, we will have Kirandich Phase 2. That one we will do a lot of borehole drilling here and equipping within Kapanet and mostly within Kapanet and Kaprabita wards. That one also will go a long way in supplying water to our people of Kapanet. And we have Baringo North. Baringo North, I think they will be able to get Kirandich Phase 3. And in Kirandich Phase 3, we will work so much on this issue in water sources like Toiwan, water project, and some parts of Partapwa ward. We also have Kipcherere water project, which is being sponsored by Smart Agriculture. So I think with that one, with all those and the few we will be drilling, we will at least maybe achieve something in those sites. I have not talked something about Eldama Ravine ward and Mogotio ward because we have Chemosuso last mile. That one will actually serve the whole of Eldama Ravine sub-county and part of Mogotio, which will go as far as Radat area. So if that Chemosuso last mile is completed, somehow we will be able to meet the requirements of the residents of those areas. And we hope that by late next year, 2022, we will have gone beyond 50% mark. Lastly, there was a question we were asked about the rollover, about the low absorption. And I want to say something about the number of projects I think which we have actually undertaken. So far, from August last year, we have awarded the first batch of 34 projects. We have already taken the contractor to the site, and we are paying some of them now, those who have completed. And then they were followed by another 42 projects, which are now, we have already awarded, and the contractors are going to the site even to this day. That is a 76 number. If I had 42 plus 34, that is 76. And we have another 17 which are in procurement now, being processed. And by 22nd, next week, another 64 will be there. So hopefully, January 2021 and February 21, February, the end of February 2021 will be dedicated for data collection, revision, and then requisition and sourcing. And then in around March, there will be site handing over and payments. So we hope, I know there was an issue of a first supplementary, which was done around end of December last year. I think that one also was a challenge to us because you cannot allocate funding. You cannot do data collection until you know the exact amount of money which will be allocated to projects. Few challenges which I think we are still working on are some of the stalled projects. We have Cheraik irrigation scheme. We need some funding. We will, in fact, we were talking about it recently, and already we are planning for 2021, 2022. We have Kapkelelo irrigation scheme, which we need to do something about it. And then lastly, we have the issue of siltation of dams. So many of our dams are being silted because of the issues of soil erosion. One of them being Jemasusu Dam. Jemasusu Dam is almost filled now with soil. So we need to do a lot of soil conservation structures in the Upper Jemasusu. And so many other small ones we have within the county. All those small dams, all those small weirs, there are a lot of siltation. So those are real challenges. We will need a lot of maintenance money so that we'll be able to do some desilting. With those few remarks, may I say thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you, Bwana Kidogo. I think they mentioned something about the staffing. You, in the presentation from the gentleman of water, the thematics area, was that of the lack of staff. You are very much aware that Baringo County government has a huge wage bill, and they have been affected seriously by that lack of staff. However, we are soon making a decision as cabinet on what can be done about that problem. Currently, we have water, agriculture, roads and public works, cooperatives and trade, which are lacking staff massively. We cannot employ because our wage bill is way above the statutory 35%. But service must be delivered. We are doing what we are calling staff replacement, and I think we are going to take, there's a cabinet position which is going to be taken up very soon, and a decision to that direction made so that we can deliver service. The unfortunate thing for departments of water, which I think they were supposed to have mentioned, is that they have a lot of projects. Somebody mentioned under governance, I think Chepsoi mentioned that we have excessively too many projects. Our budget is mutilated into minute projects, sub-projects, which becomes very difficult to implement. You will find the same in water. You will find the same phenomena in roads. Administering or to operationalize some of these projects becomes excessively expensive. These gentlemen here, the technical officers, will move to all corners of this country to inspect these projects. And as a result, they are not able to finish in the quickest time possible within the financial year. So spreading so thinly becomes excessively expensive for the county government, coupled with the slow budget we provide them in O&M. For your information, we will mention it to you when we'll be talking about governance, the amounts of money which is at the disposal of these officers here to use to operationalize or implement the budget. They are actually very small money. I'm sure those of you who have been interacting with the budget will have seen the kind of money I give them. We sympathize with them. But it becomes worse when we give departments like water, roads, minute projects of 1.5 million in one corner of the county and another corner of the county. The engineers will be moving. They spend so much money from corner to corner of this county, so it becomes too expensive. So I think we will discuss those ones when we go to governance. So I take this opportunity to welcome Mary come and respond to the health matters.
Participants, good afternoon. I will be extremely brief because our issues were actually very much elaborated. I think it's because we have interacted so much with civil society as a department until we understand each other a lot. I will just add information where it wasn't presented here and show some of the interventions that we have done as a department. Yes, very true. As a department, we deliberately decided to go on the issues of completion of already started projects and upgrading of our facilities for us to be able to have the various levels in different sub-counties. You mentioned about two facilities, Mogotio and Marigat, but I want to add that in the list of the upgrade to level 4 hospitals, we included Chemolingot and Kabartonjo. And we wanted to create equality, or is it equity, because every sub-county, we decided that we must at least have a level 4 for them to be able to be sufficient in provision of health services. And for all the sub-county hospitals, the level 4s, we've done theaters. We've done theater in Chemolingot. We've done theater in Kabartonjo. Construction of theater is being done in Marigat. We've completed one in Mogotio. So it's like throughout our level 4s, we have actually endeavored to make sure that they become the level 4s. Sorry, before I went into the presentation, before I acknowledged the members from my department who are here. We have Mr. Bowen, who is our lab coordinator. We have Mr. Yano, who does our records, the county records officer. And we have Mr. Chepcheng, who is Director of Medical Services. And I kindly request that our members, you give me, I think you will tell me you are in agreement, that I will represent you for the sake of time, for us to save time. I'm seeing you're almost reaching to, are you giving me that? Thank you very much. I will be representing the team who are here. Concerning the gaps that were presented here, the issues of shortage of key medical staff, that is an issue which is actually national. It's not only even county governments. Apparently, HRH, or Human Resource for Health, has been an issue which has been all over to this county and others. Despite that, with the help of national government, we are able to recruit staff on the UHC scheme, and we got 200 outside staff across several cadres, and I'm sure that, I know we have not reached the level that we say we have enough, but at least we have something to show for it. The issues of drugs, I know Waziri will be coming here to present on the resource envelope and the rest. And one of the guys who was presenting here also showed us on our projections in revenue collections and what we actually collect, giving deficits. So sometimes, even as a department, as we get lower allocations, because we are in the government and we understand the issues of shortage of resources that we have been able to at least reach somewhere. We have not reached the level that we have. Truly, what we need for our medical, the medical needs of the department is 460 million per year. But we barely even reach 150 of the allocations. But also, with the help of UAC program, the national government gave us some little relief of basic drugs for levels 2 and 3s to supplement what we give us as county governments. But going forward with probably more allocations of monies to our counties, we should be able now to target what we are supposed to be having in our facilities. We also talked about the issues of primary healthcare, the CHS bill, but I think worth noting is from financial year 2018-2019, the department was allocated some money for primary healthcare, specifically for promotion of health. We got 28 million. Outside implementation of CHS, we actually got money for promoting maternal services, the issues of maternity. We got some money for sensitization on hepatitis B, which is a major challenge in our county. We got some money sensitization and training people on snake bites. And I think that helped because the focus of the department is moving away from treatment, which we have seen is very expensive. Look at the 460 million that we need for drugs, and shifting back to investing in prevention and bringing down the cost of purchase of drugs and non-farms in the long run. The issues of operationalization of health facilities is true, and it is actually tied to the issue of shortage of medical staffs in our county. And again, from last year, as we received the UAC staff, we are actually able to open and operationalize more of the facilities and looking at areas where we had inequalities before. The capacity of our health facility management committees, I agree. Previously, when we were starting devolution, the other government, we had so many partners coming in and supporting us with the issues of training of our committees. At some point, with the country going to the middle income and the rest of those stories, every one of our partners have been preaching to us the issue of a journey to self-reliance and the need for us to actually allocate money to help or to manage our activities, including training of the facility management committees. And this has not been helped by the issue that after every 3 years, we need to replace the committees. So even the people who have trained before, with now communities deciding on changing the committees in their dispensaries, which we are actually even doing another one this year, it becomes very expensive and challenging to keep on training and the turnover of our committees in the facilities. But as a department, we endeavor to strengthen this using our sub-county accountants who visit the facilities and enable them to actually even keep the records, keep the books of accounts in the facilities. Yes, we have the issues of rollover, but I want to note one thing that the health rollovers included at some point the issues of the MES, the medical equipment, which we usually get from, the money that is actually deducted at source. Because it's development, it is added, not being shown that money we don't receive, we already received the equipment, and the money is deducted at source. So sometimes the 200 million that is for previously for the managed equipment was being added to our development, increasing the weight bill. But again, we still have the rollovers due to the issues of so many projects, the issues relating to contractors, and the issues relating to even the technical staff. I know our CEO of infrastructure they are given so much from our department, from education and the rest, and they are still the same staff who are supposed to go around and being able to produce BQs for this the project. In addition to the CHS bill, rightly you said that we already started developing the community strategy bill. We've done with your help. We've been working together in this journey of making sure that we have the bill. On top of that, we have the facility improvement bill, which also will facilitate our facilities to be able to retain the funds that they receive at that level for better services, for them to be able to pay the workers in good time, to purchase the small things that they need for the provision of services. Somebody talked of this outside health on social NHIF money for social protection. From this year, the national government gave us some money for social protection. National government will be covering 1 million households in the country. In Baringo County, we got allocation of 14,000 households for us to be able to share across the county. And in that committee, which will be actually identifying these people to be covered by national government in the UAC program, we got social protection officers, we got public health officers from every sub-county. And I'm sure probably the people living with disability and the other vulnerables in the community will be among those ones who are in this list of vulnerables to be submitted to NHIF for them to be covered by national government. At the moment, Elder Maravin is done with their list, and we have already submitted to NHIF for national government to be able to fund the program, in the view that going forward next year, probably the national government will be increasing the amounts, and the county governments also supplements for us to achieve UHC. The national government is moving away from giving free services like what was done in the 4 pilot counties, and making sure that we go in the insurance way in covering everyone, including the vulnerables in the community. So I think I've touched on most of the issues. And lastly, you talked about inequality, the issues of distribution, and a case in point was water. So I was thinking as I was sitting, is the Bible verse, or whoever has little receives little, and the one who has more receives more applies? Because we are seeing this not only in Baringo County, but across the government. I'm looking at even the proposal, the BBI proposal, that the MCS will be having Ward Development Fund, and it will be cutting across at 5%. We are not looking at which wards are poorer for them to get higher percentages. So I think it's something that everyone, the whole nation, including us here in Baringo County, should look at, and even look at national government giving us equalization of fund to the less privileged areas for everyone to be at par. Thank you very much. I'm reminded of a project that we have, flagship program, project surgical block here in our referral hospital. This is a project which started sometimes back. I know you know from the budgets that we have. Previously, it didn't have enough budget, and it was first to 3 years. And when we came in, we found a contractor already on with the project, and luckily, the government, having prioritized health, we got funds from devolution funds to help us in some of our projects, and we pumped in some money to that project. We have been having some challenges, contractor related, on the project, but as we have a committee put in place to sort out the issue of that surgical block, which include Waziri Finance, our department, and Public Works. And the issue is being sorted, and soon we should be able to see the project coming up. Thank you.
Okay, maybe because he has mentioned I'm part of that committee on block implementation. Actually, apart from technical, which probably Doc would have mentioned, that Kipto would have given us finer details about the implementation, the certificates which were raised. But just in summary is that we had issues that contractor, sometimes you raise certificates when we quantify the amounts. It is not what the amount he has raised in his certificate. Therefore, we had problems paying him. Secondly, we are implementing the Public Procurement Act to the latter. We are very careful about what we pay. Therefore, we discovered that when the contract was awarded, when it was awarded in sometimes back in 2016 or 17, there are certain omissions which were discovered when we were about to pay. And we instructed the contractor to provide for those information. I'm sure you are being told, hakuna pesa, hakuna nini. Hiyo project iko na pesa yake. Mary amesema iko na 138 million. It is there. It's central bank. The problem is implementing the project by the contractor and following the procurement rules. Following the procurement procedures. There is an item called performance bond, which in the contract document, the contractor was supposed to provide, but he provided a performance bond from insurance. And we said in Treasury, no, go to the bank and bring us the performance bond from the bank as per the contract document. And that is it. He has not brought us. We are waiting for it. Kisang has the money. He can pay any minute. This gentleman brings that performance bond, and we are through with it. Thank you, Mary, for that. Then I'm being reminded that we are supposed to be finishing in maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that I need to summarize. What is cutting across is, and I think it was emphasized by most of the presenters here, including the chair of this session, Evans, is the absorption. I'll delegate this absorption to the chief officers who are present here so that they can give us a little of some insight, the intricacies about absorption. So I'll request Kisang and Chief Kipto to come forward to tell us a little bit about absorption.
Thank you, Waziri Wafedha, the CCs present, chief officers, directors, the host, and the facilitator of this process, the chair to the BISCOFs, and all the participants. Good afternoon. My name is John Kisang, the chief officer of finance, and I'm sorry I came late. I had a number of engagements in the office, but I managed to grasp a number of important points during the presentation, and I must acknowledge that these are well researched analysis which has given us very useful feedback. I'm here to say something about the absorption. In the financial year 2019-2020, we realized an absorption of 49%, which is an improvement compared to the absorption of 2018-2019, which was 32%. So we saw an improvement of 17%. However, this financial year has started a little bit slow in cognizance of the challenges that we are all aware, the issue of the COVID-19. There was also the first quarter, there was delays in conclusion of the division of revenue, and there was also challenges in operationalization of IFMIS on time. There were challenges with cash flow from the exchequer as a consequence of the low revenue collection owing to the COVID-19. However, in this financial year, we appreciate the gaps that this process has highlighted, and we take positively the recommendations or the proposals that you have made. I think in the coming financial year, we are going to realize an increase in terms of exchequer revenue, which will help us fill the gaps which we have been struggling with. As you have noted that our budget in operation and maintenance is quite low. We have also serious gaps on the staffing of essential technical officers. And I think we will also focus more on strengthening service delivery systems, in addition to strategically focusing on equipping the infrastructure that we have put in place. So going forward, we will reduce projects on brick and mortar and focus on equipping so that we operationalize the facilities that we have put in place. With those few remarks, I'll request my colleague from infrastructure to fill in any gap that I may have left out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my colleague Kisang, mawaziri ambao wako hapa, CEOs, the civil society, and all of us, good afternoon. Actually, I will not say much because he's actually captured most of the things that we had discussed. But it is only of importance to note that most of the issues that really affected our operations were these issues of COVID and the introduction of the new procurement system and the site, especially on our site as the infrastructure development department. Rains actually hampered most of our activities on site. And that one is a natural phenomena, and we will not be able to explain much. Otherwise, as he said, we have put in place measures to mitigate and fast track and catch up on those areas that we've lagged behind. And it is true from the presentations earlier given to us, we are all interdependent, especially as the Department of Public Works. If, for example, the Ministry of Education erects an ECD in a remote area of Kapkelelwa or Tiati, and there's no road to access those places, it is just like not having a school at all. similar to other facilities. And as a department, we will ensure that we do our part. The only issue that I wish to express, especially to the public, I mean the representatives of the consumers, you, the civil society, is that please educate our people, especially when it comes to public participation, so that they can allocate money where it matters most. Infrastructure, for example, the roads, water, and all those areas, and we'll be able to help. Otherwise, I think I'll not add much unless there's a burning issue that you may raise so that we can be able to respond. Thank you. Pole, sikusema jina. Majina naitwa Engineer Kipto, mimi ndio CEO wa mambo ya barabara na ujenzi hapa Baringo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Kipto. I was to ask the team from the Office of the Governor to mention something about social protection and the rest. But I think I want to acknowledge that the presentations you made under that sector, the lady, the gracious lady, who it is good inside, we will take it. Although we may not have quick responses now, but we appreciate your concerns. Our only concern was that sometimes we don't get these statistics very well. Like for example, the BWDs, the statistics which the BWDs give us, I don't know, can I call it exaggerated? The numbers is just too high. When we refer to the statistics from the NBS, it is on the lower side. So we just want to tell our people that let them be honest and sincere and give us facts. We also remember when we are doing in the sector working groups, we were asking the departments they were asking for resources for rescue centers and the rest. But we are telling them now how many women are being battered or how many girls are running away from homes because of FGM. But nobody was giving us those statistics, to assist us to plan. So we actually told the sector concerned, the department concerned, please be up to date with your information so that it will assist us to plan. Nonetheless, Mary has contributed well that the BWD's NHIF concerns will be taken into consideration. And fortunately, again, for the county, Baringo is getting more resources in 2020, 21, 2022. And all these needs will be catered to some reasonable amounts, because I know we've neglected a number of areas which shall be, this time round, shall be considered. So the gracious lady, please, will take your concerns. Then for governance, on regarding absorption, as my colleagues have mentioned, the challenges we're going through and the strategies we are putting in place so that we absorb more. We will appreciate that last financial year we moved from 32% to 52% or 51%. That was a major achievement for 2019-2020. We look forward to the same. There shall be a little bit challenges here and there, but we are going to strive to run through, to combat those challenges. Now, we have representation from departments which are very key in the development agenda of Baringo. We have agriculture here, we have trade here, and cooperatives. I think, I don't know whether we have so much time for them to respond to some of the issues, but allow me to just give my brother Lokidor to say something, because for cooperatives, it's an area where the county is now focusing more on. Then we can now move to, those are the issues which are cross-cutting. We can explain ourselves, or we can give more details during the plenary session. So, Lokidor, Moses, quickly come and say something about what we are doing.
Thank you so much, Waziri. Our CCs present, my colleagues CEOs, the directors, the CEO for ZGG and the team, our CEOs or CSOs present. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I know the sugar level by now, it is seriously low. And I believe extending, it is just in terms of appreciation. So CC just allow me to appreciate this team for organizing this organization or this workshop for today, for us to have an engagement with them. It is a good strategies in terms of also sharing the ideas, seeing the gaps at least in our departments, and also sharing the proposals. So thank you so much. We appreciate. We will not take it for granted. Straight to the point of cooperatives, I know we would have responded to some of the issues, but let me go straight to the cooperatives as per the request of our senior. Colleagues, we have a lot of initiatives in terms of cooperative movements. One, last financial year, we passed 3 bills. One was cooperative fund bill, and that one is to support in the governance of the cooperatives. We have also for the SME fund bill, and we have also the investment and economic bill. Is that not achievement? I believe that's achievement. Yeah. This year, because of the gaps also that we saw last financial year, and I can also link that one with the empowerment in the social protection. Yeah, I think there was something at least to do with empowerment activities, especially for the women, youths, and even the groups, which are the cooperatives. Recently, we engaged our MCS, specifically those who are our department committees, and the legal office for RAS, to look into the bill of the Ward Development Fund bill and capture the grants. Because you see, the way we are implementing we don't have that legal support of supporting the cooperatives and even the groups in terms of the grants. So if that bill will be approved, which I know it is an amendment, it is not seriously a bill, an independent bill, it will be just an amendment out of what? Out of Ward Development Fund. So that whichever the money that the wards will allocate to support the PWDs, to support the youths, to support the women, and also to support the cooperatives, to be a legal what? A legal entity, at least to support us even when we are doing what? When we are facilitating the payment. So if that one will go through, and then I'm very sure it will be easy even for us as the accounting officer to approve the payment to those groupings. So I believe that is a bending activity ahead of us, and if that one will go through, and then it will be an easy thing for us even to support the protection the social protection at least teams in terms of finance. So thank you so much.
We have two sectors which the make a presentation, but I don't know because of time. I don't know what to do about it because we have agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and mining. They could fall under the which sector? Is it natural resources or 2 minutes? 2 minutes. So okay, somebody from agriculture, livestock, and development can say something. Empowerment. I know we are funding a lot of. We are giving you a lot of money to get fingerlings, to get chicken, to get mangoes, and the rest to our people, so that we empower people. Can somebody from agriculture come and say that, and then Kitilit, you come and say what you are doing in mining environment. 2 minutes each. Karibu Kandie.
Our CC Rotich and Panga and our CCs were here. Our chief officers, directors present, and said Gigi, I want to thank you very much for organizing this session. And on behalf of our Department of Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries, I will say that this is a very important department in this county. It is what is actually contributing directly to the socio-economic well-being of the people of Baringo County. And it is also important when it comes to the health of the population, because a population that is not well fed is a population that will become sick all the time, and they will end up in the hospital. Therefore, it's a very important department, and it is important that every time you talk about development in Baringo County, you look critically into that direction, especially when it comes to funding. I want to say that we are doing well, despite not having much money. We are doing well. We are understaffed at the moment. We could have contributed so much to the treasury, but we are understaffed. You know, issues about meat is under the veterinary department, and at the moment we don't have enough veterinary staff to do the what is called meat inspection in the abattoirs or abattoirs. So we may not be collecting as much. There are some places who have no veterinary officers at all. So we are not even, we are reaching a stage where we are worried that we might not have even, we might be eating meat which is not inspected. But we hope that very soon, we have given our suggestions, our presentations to the county government through our CEO. We hope they will employ very soon, and we hope that issue will be sorted out. We have projects coming up. We have the Mahoi meat processing plant, which is a key project in this county. We hope that we will be able to complete. We were there on Tuesday, and we did an inspection with our team from Public Works, Eldoret. There was a structural engineer, there was a mechanical engineer, and we went there, we inspected. The project is going on well. Presently, those teams are in Nairobi doing some benchmarking
so that we can come and complete what we are doing. We also have bumps in El Namaravin. They are also doing something on milk processing in especially Baringo, El Namaravin area, Mokotio, Esageri, through our cooperatives there. We're also doing something on honey processing or honey value chain. Very soon, we have some processing facilities, but we want to upgrade. We want to look for a bigger one for the county. So we are looking into manufacturing. That will be a source of economic well-being, socio-economic well-being for our people. At the same time, it will be a source of employment for our people. Source of employment. That is what a county is actually meant to do. We are supposed to look at everything we do in terms of what are we contributing to the economic well-being of our people in form of money, in form of employment, and even everything. It will affect because when they become rich, they will actually cascade down to what they are doing in their social lives every day. So, as our department also is, we are doing, as Waziri has mentioned, kuna kifaranga tunabeana, chicks, we are giving to some women groups. And we're also doing fisheries, fingerlings to some farmers. And we hope that will help them to improve their social and economic well-being. So, as a department, we only hope that we can do better than what we are doing. Soon after we get some staff. We don't have enough staff, but we are doing very well. We are trying our best with what we have, and we hope that we will get time to. So I want to say thank you very much. Nimeongea mengi. Asante sana.
Okay, thank you, Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. He was supposed to have mentioned the, you are doing the test running yesterday, and so your responsibility is tell your extension officers to tell more farmers to engage in coffee growing. Hata nyinyi pia mwambie hawa that we now have the milk process, we have the processing plant in Katimok, and then we have a ready market in Korea. So, fanyeni bidii. So, Kitilit, 1 minute, my brother. You can even talk from there.
Ceremonial like the other things. Chair, who has given me 1 minute to stand there, let me do how others are doing. I will use the little time possible. Chair, the presenters who have done, chief officers, directors, I want to take very few minutes to say about mining. Mining was said here. First of all, I want to give the apology of my CEC. My CEC is in Eldoret on an assignment for the department. Also, my chief officer is in Matuga, KSG Mombasa, undergoing a training, so he could not be with us here. Director Environment and Director Tourism are also on another assignment. So, what was requested is the information about mining. I want to tell this convention that this county is very endowed on mineral resources. And we have 3 categories of these mineral resources. First, mineral resources, we have diatomite deposits in this county, a lot in Tiati, North Baringo, and Mogotio, South Baringo. They used to call South Baringo. We also have red rupees in a place like Loboi and part of Marigat. We also have phosphor in Gerio Valley, those places of Tiriogo, Kolawa. We also have gold.
We also have Trona Magadi. This Trona is found in Sokota River in areas of Kabedo. So there is that deposit there and it has not been exploited, though people locally use it. We also have salt lick, very important. Nowadays you buy that one in the veterinary shops, but we have a natural one in Nginyang River and areas of Loboi. We also have non-renewable, non-mineral. We have oil, which was taking prospection in Kerio Valley, although the data had been taken to Germany laboratories and they are waiting interpretation. So anytime they will come and tell us the viability, quantity, and the quality of the product. You also have geothermal power, which is generated in along the Lake Bogoria block up to Silale, and they have done about 5 wells, drilling wells. 3 are already been successful. I think you saw last year, and 2 are undergoing drilling in the place called Korosi. We also have carbon dioxide gas found in Baringo. We have suspected in a place called Arus, around 35 kilometers from Lake Baringo towards Mogotio. We also have that gas in a place called Esageri. So these are some of the minerals that we have. If exploited, this county is going to be rich. We also have non-renewable energy. We have a lot of solar. Part of our county is dry and they receive a lot of sunlight, heavy rays of sunlight, especially Tiati, North Baringo, the other part of Koloa and Salawa. Wind energy also is possible in this county. So it's under prospection and visibility. A lot of visibility has been done, and it's likelihood that when the investors come, we shall have a lot of energy. We also have biogas. Yes. 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 Thank you, Bwana Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are doing as a county now, we are inviting investors, and we have given a goodwill. We have invited a lot of investors right away from China and the local investors. You can be also an investor if you have the intention to exploit a mineral. So that is what we have done. As a department, we have written letters of concession, that is access right to the mineral holders, those who want to exploit the mineral. So we have done a lot, and some are in the now stage of looking for a mining license so that they can come and start their factories. Already GDC is on the way, and they have done a lot. And we also developed, we have met our investors, and we told them we are going to work, we want to work with you. And to work with you, we need to have some collaboration framework agreements that will give us, will make us to work together so that we know what the right hand and the left hand is doing. So we are at an advanced stage. We have also developed Baringo County mining policy that will entail the public expectation. You know, when a mineral is found in a place, that is where people live, and those communities have expectation, issues of compensation, issues of the revenue, and you know there is a bill that I don't know whether it has been passed, which says in such a situation, when a mineral is there, the revenue will go like this. The government, national government, will take 70% of the accrued benefit. The county will take 20, and then community will take 5. But we are proposing in our policy that we do it upside down, so that the community gets 70%. Then the county gets 20, and the national gets 5%, because this is our mineral. So that's some of the milestones, Bwana Chair, we have done. And so far, we are progressing very well. Soon or later, you will find some industries. So, and also, we shall have that agreement. You know, like now, we have two types of investors. We have national government investor, like GDC, Geothermal Development Company. This one, we are going to do an agreement with them so that they will assist us on the issues of corporate social responsibility. But the other one, the private one, we shall deal one using our common, the act, the Mining Act and the Development Land Act. So that is what we have done. So in passing, not in passing, I want to say that the issue of environment is a responsibility for all of us because environment cuts across all sectors. So we are responsible for our environment. We are saying that man can make his environment to suit him, and at the same time can make his environment to be a worst place to live. So it's a responsibility. But due to the departmental plans, we have done a lot. The director would have explained so more, but yesterday we were in Kisumu on the same mission of environment. We were discussing with the county assembly committee on the issue of climate change policy. So we were doing yesterday at Kisumu a validation on climate change policy to address all the environment issues and the climate change. I don't want to explain so more, and we are reaching to some point. Soon we shall, I think the policy has passed the cabinet, and now we are with the county assembly so that the bill can be prepared and so forth. Otherwise, us as an environment, we are doing a lot for this county, but want to say the issue of environment conservation is a responsibility of all of us. Thank you. I'm almost finishing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kedelit. Fine, I think because of time, I think I will say probably that is the much we have for you today. But if we can allow, we can go to answer question session, we may give you more. But I think what we need to do, the civic society and the team leaders of respective organizations, is we can organize in future engagements which is well planned in good time so that we can provide you more information which you can relay or also and even update your records. We will be ready to bring up bigger teams. Sometimes, like for now, we would have wished to have these engagements. Unfortunately, it is a limited resources we have at disposal. So if we have donors, you are in touch with donors, county government will just come here to give information, and you can even widen up the participation. So thank you. I hand over to Kibet to continue the next part of the deliberation of today. Thank you.
Asante sana. Better clap for government. Backs off. Watu wamelala. Backs off. Backs off. County government of Baringo. Thank you. So I think they have done justice even with a little time, and we also appreciate that we didn't give you advance information on what we were going to share, but we are aware that we were scorecarding the county integrated development plan. If you noticed, we made reference to the promises that are committed in the county integrated development plan. As a public officer, I think it behoves us, each of us as public officers, to always reflect, where am I in terms of what I committed to the people we serve? So that's why we did this roundtable. I understand that we are all hungry, and you know a hungry man is an angry man, but then we are all in this together, including myself, the moderator. So if you can allow, we can allow maybe burning questions or proposals or follow-up clarifications. So then, and we make it very straightforward, and if you can even point out which department you want it to be addressed to, though I realize we have lost quite a number of participants and I don't want that to happen again. So that's why we need to move very fast. So let me see by show of hands, wangapi wako na burning questions? Yes. And you will qualify that burning when I give you. So I'm seeing Biwot, Chelal. Yes. So we'll take those 5 for now, right? So the person with the sanitizer, please. You can start here with Birir. Make it very point on. Up. But you can also help the other one with the mic. Yakikuwa tayari.
Okay, my question goes to fisheries. I wish there was a presentation from fisheries. Chemususu Dam has a lot of fish, natural, na ile iliwekwa na Briton. The Briton, I don't know who gave him permission to come and put the fingerlings there. Now, that Briton is clashing with the community because there was no public participation. I understand the county previous regime are aware of what was going on. Now, when we engage this Briton, there's no document showing that there was a permission to enter. Now, you as an officer from fisheries, at least we've sent some information to county government that there's a problem there. Now, CC Finance is talking about revenue. Every weekend, this Briton is fishing tons and tons of fish, going out every weekend. Isn't that a revenue for the county? And if there's a revenue for the county, what is the community benefiting from? And yet we had a natural fish there. We cannot fish, now we are legal there. The same Briton wanted to own the entire dam. Ikweni property yake. What is going on? There was no public participation there. Thank you.
What your question is not being captured. I'm not saying it's a bad question. You allow him to make the microphone for you. I think because we are documenting. Or use this one. Is this better?
Okay, what I was saying is it not supported on service delivery because sisi wananchi we are not getting services. Na nyinyi mnasema the COVID. How comes other counties are doing it so well? Is it that we have incompetent staff among ourselves so that we are not doing the right thing? Because how comes Kericho are doing it, the other counties are doing it, and Baringo wanasema ni COVID? That is my question. Secondly, about the issue of inspection of projects and conflict of interest. What are the departments who are supposed to be doing the right thing, supervising projects? How do they make payments? and approving on approving payment for projects which are substandard in nature, leaving us community without services. Like in, for example, the Department of Water, we have had several payments being made to contractors who have done shoddy jobs, leaving us community without water. That is my question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question or concern goes to the Department of Trade and Planning and Finance. It's about the budget documents, availability of the budget documents in the website. And we highlighted earlier in our presentation that there's absence of lack of information, access to information. So what is it that is hampering you from updating the budget documents in the website? Or are there any other plans do you have any plan to do the same? Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My comment will dwell on issue devolution. Maybe our CC, maybe you may give us status of village units. How is it at this time? Also, I have a comment on water, agriculture, and health. I think there is need for interagency on water harvesting, so that we arrest this wastage of water moving around from towns to the lower, causing a lot of displacement. That was my
Thanks. So unless there is a lady, that's a handful. Any questions from the ladies? Okay. So I can hand it over back to the chair of the government responses to tell us who can address what.
Okay, thank you. Question from Birir. The Director of Fisheries is around here. Okay, can you give us the answers? Then for BWAT, utilization of funds, low absorption, conflict of interest, shoddy projects. Department of Water is said to be notorious in paying projects which are none of the officers is here. The chief officer has left and as well. However, I don't know. Kidogo should be looked for. He should be somewhere within the building. Then the chief officer of finance also can tell us something about the same, about the question would be what. Jalal, I'll give you the answers. And the gentleman about the structure, village administrators. I'm sorry, my brother, we cannot have that one now because we don't have sufficient money. For your information, I should have mentioned to you from the onset that our budget, you have been seeing the billions in the budget, 6 billion and 5 billion and the kind. For your information, about 56% goes to salaries. 30% goes to development as a statutory requirement. What remains for O&M? Pesa ngapi inabaki? 14% is available for O&M. Ideally, for you to run government, we call it bureaucracy. For you to run a bureaucracy, the statutory requirement in terms of revenue, in terms of funds, should be 35%. And that is why it is provided for in the PFM Act that development shall be 30%, Salaries, you call it emoluments, personal emoluments, should be 35%, and operations and maintenance to take care by 35%. But in Baringo, 56% of our salaries, our revenue from National Treasury, together with the money which collect around down here, goes to salaries. 30% goes to development. We remain with 14%. 14%, we have so many structures which were proposed in the Devolution Act 2012, which we don't have in Baringo. Including even in my own office, we are supposed to have the economic forum, but I don't have the money to establish that unit to be in a position to be functional. So we sacrifice. Same thing to the village administrators. In the event that we have money in future, probably we'll have them. But for the time being, we believe that the structure, which is ward administrators, should be able to perform those functions. Unfortunately, those responsible for ward administration are not with us here. We will provide maybe answers in the future. So I can say that one, we are not having any plans to have them for the time being. So I think, Okeyo, you can answer the first question.
I want to begin by mentioning that before devolution, fisheries activities were restricted to Lake Baringo. But as from 2014, our activities have gone out to cover the other sub-counties. I want to respond to what was raised about Chemosusu Dam and the initial intention of introducing fish onto Chemosusu Dam was specifically to promote sport fishing. That is why we introduced trout, a special species of fish, specifically for sport fishing. This was an idea from the national government. It started in 2013, but it was taken up by the county government in 2015 when we introduced the first batch of 50,000 fingerlings. So I want to admit that the issue of public participation was not done consultatively. But then, before the fingerlings were introduced, we had a number of engagements from the community because they were resisting. They didn't want that to be taken up before public participation. So we've had engagements with the community. Then, being a new enterprise, we appreciated or we admitted that there were issues to do with policy which required to be done. So at the moment, I'm happy to report that we are almost completing a draft policy on sport fishing, which will address so many issues, including the fee we are supposed to charge and access to that water body. The other thing I want to mention is that I'm not aware that tons of fish are being shipped out, because basically when you are doing sport fishing, you are not supposed to take anything out of that water. You are supposed to fish, you take the weight, then you return the fish to its natural environment while it is still alive. So I'll find out on the issue of the tons of fish which are being taken out, but I want to believe it is not trout, maybe the indigenous breeds. Thank you.
Okay, I will just emphasize that we realized improvement in absorption in the last financial year, and our challenge is to maintain the trend. On the issue of the budget, which has already been uploaded in the website, I promise that we are going to update our website and upload the budget, so it will be in the system for the public to view. Thank you. I think there is a specific point that the Department of Water would handle because it's quite specific. Thank you.
Okay. Probably I need to add that we can confirm that we moved from 32% to 51%. And as my chief officer has mentioned, we will strive to be at maybe 60%. I have interacted with quite a number of counties, and this question about absorption is not unique to Baringo. I would have wished if we with proper notice, I would have given you the presentations from other departments, from other counties, because there is an assumption, by the way, that county A, county B is doing so well. At some point, even I used to hear that there's a lot. People you are talking so much about Wasingishu. Wasingishu has its unique challenges, serious ones. We are far much better than sometimes. Okay, they have the advantages. Maybe you are seeing development projects which are occurring there, but remember, this is a second-term governor, so they have perfected the work. So you cannot compare with us who are the 3 years in this administration. More so, again, is that they have their share of challenges and almost similar in absorption of budget. Really, I know very few counties we don't have these challenges. And those counties don't have these challenges of absorption, low absorption, is that they do very few projects. Very few projects. When one certificate is brought, okay, one project could be costing 800 million. 800 million is a lot of money. A contractor sits for 6 months and he brings a certificate of 200 million. And it is paid, you see. So it's different for Baringo. We talk of too many projects, too many, excessively too many, and it becomes a problem for us. And that is the main reason why we don't absorb in the quickest time possible, which, again, I also have a big problem myself in my Department of Treasury. My procurement team is lean. Alice will tell you, she was a director there, that in Baringo you require not less than 15. Elgeyo Marakwet actually adds up 17, and Elgeyo Marakwet has a smaller budget. Down here, my procurement team are the experts, those who are trained in procurement, there are only 8. So, and procurement is a serious business, very serious business, by the way. And having gone e-procurement, it has also its own challenges. Remember, Baringo just graduated the other day to e-procurement, to G4, the 4G. 4G, which is, I don't know, I think is not strong enough. Our officers cannot do procurement so efficiently when they're in Baringo. They have to go to Eldoret or sometimes to go to Nakuru where the internet is stronger so that they can procure, because it is e-procurement. So it is like, for example, now the procurement plans for 2019, 2020, 2021 is being done in Nakuru. I think they just finished the other day. It's because the link here is weak. It's not strong enough, and we cannot undertake e-procurement properly. So we have those challenges, infrastructure challenges. We hope in future it will be surmounted. Then there's the question which I want to strongly differ with you about information. There's a gentleman who said that we don't have information, and I think even the same information was shared by the presentation, that you lack information. I don't know which documents do you want us to upload in the budget, because when I look at, I've just gone into a waste pipe now, and I can see in 2019-2020, the CIDP is there, the ADP is there, the budget circular statement is there, CPROP is there, CFSP is there, the summaries on expenditure is there, detailed recurrent expenditure for 1920 is there, detailed development expenditure is there, ascended budget is there, first quarter report is available, second quarter is available, third quarter is available, and fourth quarter is available. So I really don't know. I also have the financial statement for 18-19. 18-19 also, all those other reports are also available. Probably I really don't know whether you're having problems getting to this our website. Maybe the devolution ICT director could give us more details in the event, because we in planning we submit to the relevant department. But I will find out. We may just maybe try even to open one of them now, but if my assumption is that it contains information we have in Treasury. So for information, and in any case, we are flexible. We will be able to provide you as quickly as you want if you want information about the budget. Thank you.
Says that 30 days after the end of the quarter should have the implementation report. This year we have had very serious challenges in terms of monitoring budget implementation, because we don't have the first quarter and the second quarter, which are far much beyond the deadlines. Would you comment on that? And the CPROP, yes. But I think the chief officer had also mentioned something that they are uploading. Is that the same position you hold?
Probably for the CPROP, it's not uploaded. I agree. But
quarter 1 and 2?
Quarter 1 and 2 is not uploaded. Yes. True, it's not uploaded. But I think they shall be uploaded as quickly as possible, because they are available, they are ready. They have submitted to submitted to all the regulatory authorities except the public. I think it's only the public doesn't have, because all the other regulatory authorities from the county assembly here control our budget, the treasury, and everybody else, and even Auditor General has those information as we talk.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you.
I think what we are concerned is that we don't want surprises. We don't want just to hear on Citizen that there was no absorption. It's better when we are following and asking these questions as we continue, so that we can help the government in terms of that feedback. So thanks for that assurance. And I have said it, I think you might have missed it. I said Baringo has been leading in the past. But in this last 1 year, I think the ICT person who is uploading the documents are Melala Kidogo, which I think we need to really activate it. Secondly, on the information inside budget documents, there is a survey that has been done on the basis of good practice world over. So I think the research will be out sometime, I think within 1 month. I think we can engage on the basis of that budget transparency research. Thank you. There was a question I don't want to leave out the question by PWDs, the disbursement question. I think it will only be fair if you can respond it even in 1 second. Is it maybe the CC or CO? Yeah. Whoever has that response. There was a question on late disbursement of the PWD's fund. Are you aware of that? When you are absent, it was raised.
I think I mentioned when I was making some comment that this year we have experienced cash flow challenges, which may have caused delays. But as soon as we are liquid, we normally clear pending payments. Thank you.
Thanks. Chair, any other addition from your end? Because we want to wrap up now.
Okay. Our colleagues should remember that the budget for the allocations for counties were extended to in October, the 1st or 2nd week of October. Then we started operationalizing it in 2nd or 3rd week of October. The flow of funds began actually in November, and it has been very, very slow. Given the situation we are, we won't mention COVID is real, and we feel it ourselves because we don't see the kind of flow in terms of funds the way it used to be earlier. We are now in March. We are now in April, in February. But the last disbursement, we have not received disbursements for December. We have not received disbursements for January. So honestly, you'll feel it. You will feel it. Those who have been relying on this, that is our contractors, including in our own staff. Thank God we are able to pay salaries. Otherwise, we know of counties who have not paid salaries for 3 months. But Baringo County has been able to be steadfast in paying its salaries and its workers. So, but then when we were in the Economic Council last week in Karen, at the DP's place, there was assurance that things are improving from National Treasury. Your attorney was categorical that things are improving in the country and disbursements will be more regular this time around, beginning this calendar year. Thank you. Then there was something very specific about water, that projects paid are shoddy. I think that is a very strong, allegation which needs to be proved. And I'll ask BWOT to be specific on which particular project so that we can follow the departments. Because we tell in each project there is a project implementation committee which should be able to certify that the projects are up to standard, are as per the PQs. For Kisangi will tell you that when they don't have such a report from the department, indicating that there was concurrence on the project which has been implemented, you not pay. So that inspection and acceptance committee will be responsible for that. So I want us to please just give us specific projects. Please don't give a blanket so that we can follow it up. We can follow it up and provide proper answers. Otherwise, we encourage our people. Through PITs. Project implementation committees, PICs, to participate, and I think they are supposed to nominate even a member there. Before a project is declared accepted by us, the recipients should need to have also be satisfied about its implementation. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. BWOT, I don't want this to be a conversation between you and. Do you want to just cite some projects? Just cite and then we leave it for them to go and follow up.
Okay. I'm saying this one specifically because the project is in my village.
Take the mic and just say the project.
The project is in my village. I did social audit on the same project. We came for validation with the officers here. We requested the officers that we go to the ground and show them. Mpaka hata we wanted to donate, wakasema hawana gari ya kwenda ground. Some of us contributed pesa kupeleka the officers, wakaepa. The last minute they ran. That is Ketiborok Water Project. They did very short jobs. Pipes inawachana mpaka sisi kwa community tunachanga pesa na kununua features kuja kurekebisha the mess that the county engineer did. We have all the officers doing short job. Mpaka wasee wa village wanasema sisi si engineers, lakini what has happened here is they cannot believe it because sasa hivi wakati wa kulipa the project, the project committee, they were not involved. Ile nini ilitumika kwa PQs, hata kama sisi engineers, what happened is totally wrong. The company inaitwa Melma Construction, and we've got some information through our own research that it belongs to one of the staff ya county government. Because how, kwa nini walikataa kufanya kazi na project management committee?
Thanks.
And the person who was working on it, the technician is staff ya county government.
Thank you, Biwot. I think you have passed your point. I think you can leave it to the department, to Barwes Award. I think there is even a whole social audit report on that, and I guess it's only unfortunate that the Department of Water are not here to share why they shied off from going to the project, even after committing. I was in that a social audit meeting that they committed that they will go with the social auditors to the project. So I think it's an issue we need to follow up. Mr. Kipropa, I want your guidance on that also, because I know your department is the link on these issues of public participation and engagement. So in the interest of time, allow me to invite our chair, Mr. Philip Tomno, just to rush us through what he has been able to document as the key commitments, and then we call it a day. Please.
Okay, thank you, Evans. Once again, let me say my name's Tomno for those who arrived late. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to indulge you for not in excess of 3 minutes. So I beg for your indulgence. Okay, just a few things that I've managed to note on behalf of BACSOF, and these are commitments that have come back as a feedback from government, and as I also pick them up as feedback, it behoves the two parties, that is government and us and citizens, to follow up on this. Very fast, just very specific things. Don't worry about the many things that we have discussed, but the things that we will follow together with you. On education, we are going to be keen on school feeding program policy. Yeah, that's the implementation of that policy. We will also follow up on the funding for ECDs. If we have to do a national lobby on funding of ECDs to devolve governments, that's something we will be very keen on. VTCs, that is vocational training colleges, we will be very keen on equipping, staffing, and marketing. On health, there is operationalization of established facilities. We want to see them work. If there are theaters that were constructed, if there are mortuaries, if there are maternity wings, we want to see public service delivery. So we will engage citizens to see the quality and improvement. Actually, the taste of food is in the pudding. We also be keen on the flagship project, that is the surgical unit at Cabernet. We will want to work very closely with the committee that has been established to look at the issues that were raised and also see to it that this project is completed, because 138 million is a lot of money for Baringo people. There are bills that are already in the house. That is the community health strategy and the facility improvement fund bills. We will work closely with the department to see that these bills are enacted and possibly implemented. And in water, we captured that there are about 100 community water projects that have been fast-tracked for completion. We will follow up on those projects. I think the dates and the timelines have been provided by the department. We also want to see the issue of staff replacement in the department. This issue is with the cabinet, with the executive. We will be very keen to see that this department is one of those departments given consideration for that purpose. Enactment of water policy, there is commitment by the CEC. We will be very keen to see that the issues that affect wananchi are captured in this policy so that going forward, Baringo people can access water. We want to see there is the issue of equity in access to water in Baringo. This was not mentioned, but I want to pick it up because it is out there. Baringo County spend a lot of money acquiring rigs. We want to see Baringo County using the rigs to enhance equity. Take those rigs where there is no water and put balls. Finally, on governance, we have all agreed, and I think this is the elephant in the house, that we want to see increased allocation of money to operations and maintenance so that we can fast track projects. So equitable share ya Baringo tunataka ikiongeza and what have you, so that we don't invest much more on infrastructure, yet we have stalling projects. Strengthening of existing decentralized units is a discussion that we want to have rather than establishing new because of the wage bill. So, which I think is very important. Concession signing. We will be very keen on what will be the revenues to Baringo County government and what is the benefits to the communities. It is very important as we sign concessions because of the many blessings that we have underneath. It will be important for us to focus on this. And then finally, the mining policy, implementation of the same. So with those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to thank you for your patience on the discourse, because this is in the interest of the people of Baringo County. Thank you.
A better clap for our chair. All those who are of the opinion that those are the resolutions of this meeting, say aye. The nays have it. Mnataka nirudie tena. All those who are of the opinion that those are the resolutions. Is it working? All those who are of the opinion that those are the resolutions of this meeting, say aye. Yeah, the nays have it. So I think we have a huge chunk of our in our desk to follow up on, listening to chair and how he has been able to capture the summary, and we are very keen to follow up on those. So just as a matter of way forward is that we will do that resolution in form of appreciation letters to the CECs who are present and the other departmental officers, so that it's captured, it's on record, that this is what was agreed here. Then we'll also share the presentations that we've, through the departmental heads or through the Department of Civic Education, the presentations that were shared here will be sent, and especially to those sectors that were not present here today. So then we'll meet as a steering committee who brought this together to agree on when we do the follow-up. We are not so interested in a very big forum as you would want it to look alike. We are interested in the discussion, the quality of deliberations. So, and I must say that from my own assessment and the juries out there, we have had very quality deliberations. Isn't it so? Yeah, so that's my joy. So that said, I wish to pass a vote of thanks to the following very fast. Number one is to the office of the governor. Even in the absence of the governor, I think we have his blessing. That's why we are here. It must be remembered that he sanctions participation of his cabinet in such engagements. So we really appreciate, and we would wish to have him in the subsequent engagement, and also the deputy governor who really helped in the mobilization. The CEC Finance, I think a special and warm appreciation goes to you, and I think he deserves a clap. Tumpe moja, ongeza, ongeza. Why am I appreciating that? He was able to receive feedback from us and respond, and also supported us in moderating and guiding the discussions. I think he was not prepared for that, but as a leader, as a public officer, you ought to be ready all the time. So I think we really appreciate that. The other CECs in the absentia, we appreciate them. The CEC Water and Irrigation, the CEC Health, the CEC Devolution, though she didn't stay for long. We really appreciate that you honored our invitation to this meeting. A special thanks to the Department of Civic Education. This morning, Kiprop was not resting. He could not sit down because he wanted to see this meeting being successful. So we really appreciate the department, and we now see the value of why we put you in that office through the inaugural Governo'rs Roundtable. So we can only pray that that office is strengthened, and you see how much they can do in terms of mediating for engagement between stakeholders and the county government. The Backstop Steering Committee, I know there is a very hardworking team that even worked on the mobilization, even when some of us were away. We really appreciate you. A special thanks to the media. Also, I think you might have noticed that we are live on Facebook. The whole world is watching us engaging. So it's on record. What you have said here is a public commitment. So we really appreciate that. SK, Baringo News and the team, Radio Alpha, I'm seeing people from Royal Media Services and other members of the fourth estate. We really appreciate your coverage of the event. The public address people, we really appreciate it. I know you're not prepared to do the sanitization. So we have added you a new role of our public health person. We really we are grateful for that. The Backstop members, all of us in the room, we really thank you so much. The other county government officials, I know most of us would have felt that we need to engage Kina Madam Roslyn. I wish we had the whole day. We would have had everybody speak, but then I think time is never too much. It's just enough for what we have done today. So I hope I've gotten the Rift Hills team for putting this place for us and ensuring that we are adhering to the COVID-19 rules. You might have noticed in the comments, some people are very keen that we need to do this. So that's why you see me sticking to the rules. Thank you so much for that. So lunch is available. The ZGG team, of course, I forgot. We have a team also that has been working on logistics here and there. Thank you so much. Even those who are watching us from the office in Nakuru, we really thank you so much. So that said, I think we have brought this meeting to an end. I don't want to just go back to the comments again. I think we have had enough of the talking. And one word is enough for a wise person. Sivo? So working together to build our county. That remains our motto. So lunch is there. Don't leave in a hurry. Caro will provide the voucher. All of us who are in the room, if you are in the room, you are assured of your lunch. I don't know about people outside this room, but all of us in the room, we are assured of our lunch because I think there was a head count that was done to give us the vouchers. Unless I'm forgetting anything, Kipsoi? Yeah. So our prayers goes again to, I think most of us might be aware, our boss, Mr. Masese. I think You might have seen on social media he lost a very close kin, and that's where we are also meeting. So government, the friendly officers, and I know all of you are friendly, you can reach out to Caro, and he'll guide you on what is happening in terms of making the send-off of that friend, beloved person of ours. So asanteni sana. I'll request, because ladies have not talked again, I will point to a lady to pray. And I am seeing Janet. You always talk. Today you didn't talk. So you must come here and bless the lunch and commit us to the Lord as we leave this meeting.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we come before you this afternoon with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thank you, God, because of such a fruitful engagement that we've had since morning until now. As we are planning to leave, God, go ahead of us and give us safety and journey mercies to wherever we are going. We have lunch ahead of us. God, we're praying that as we're going to eat, may the food that we take be of benefit to our bodies, and in so doing, praise and honor shall come back to you. In Jesus' name we pray.
One more announcement. Don't be in a hurry to leave. There are those questions tumekuwa tukiuliza individual department. I think this is the time for the world to meet with the CEC, especially our chairman from Temususu, to meet with the fisheries officer, to share more details and information. The one who was making the presentation on